Hello everyone, it's Virendra, your chemistry teacher, and today I am in front of you with a new topic of organic chemistry, that is amines of class 12th NCERT syllabus. So, one thing that I want to tell you that in amines, during your board examination, definitely you get 3 marks or 5 marks question from this chapter. So, this chapter is very important. We can say that this chapter is very important. Okay. So, we have to concentrate on this chapter. So, we will start from the beginning, that is classification. So, first thing in amines, you know means nitrogen, these are the derivatives of ammonia derivatives or alkyl derivatives we can say. So, amines, first thing that we are going here is classification. Classification of amines. So, as I have already made it clear to you that amines are actually these are amino derivative. What are amines? We can say they are amino derivatives, or we can say them alkyl derivatives also. Alkyl derivatives. Okay, like here this is R alkyl group and NH2 group is added to it. So, either ammonia is added to alkyl group or alkyl group is added to ammonia. So, they can be amino derivatives or they can be alkyl derivatives. Okay, so now coming to the classification. So, if you want to classify, we know that amines are of three types. Okay, primary amine, it can be shown by 1 degree. Okay, if this symbol we are using, then this is secondary amine, and if we are using 3 degree, then this is tertiary amine. And there is one more form, that is 4, we can say it quaternary ammonium derivatives. Ammonium derivative or salt. So, these are primary, secondary and tertiary and quaternary amines. Now, how it comes? So, to get all these 4 types, what we have to do? This is ammonia, we can say. Now, if ammonia is reacted with any alkyl R, so what will happen? Alkyl group will added to here and one hydrogen will be given out. So, it will convert into R and H2. So, this is known as primary amine. Now, in the same reaction, if again we react it with any alkyl group, so what will happen? Again, one hydrogen will be given out, will be replaced by alkyl group, and now alkyl group will be 2 and hydrogen will be just 1. So, this is known as secondary amine. Now, in the same reaction, if again one alkyl group is added, this is plus, alkyl group is added and one hydrogen is replaced. So, what will happen? Alkyl group will become 3 and hydrogen will be 0. So, this will be known as tertiary amine. Now, in tertiary amine, this is tertiary amine, you can say this is our primary amine, this is secondary amine and this is tertiary amine. Now in tertiary amine, this is tertiary amine. Now if 4 alkyl groups are added to it, 4 alkyl groups are added and 4 hydrogen is replaced by these 4 alkyl groups. So what will happen? Now alkyl group will become, this will be like this, we can say N. Now all the hydrogen have been replaced, so it will be N, we can say it here, this will be like this. This is first we will have to take ammonium salt, this is ammonium, this is plus ammonium halide, this is ammonium chloride, it can be bromide, it can be iodide, and now we have to add 4 alkyl groups in this compound. Okay, this is ammonium halide and 4 alkyl groups will be added and 4 hydrogens are taken out from it or replaced. So what will happen now? This will convert into NR4, okay, and X is negative. So this is known as, now this will be known as quaternary, this one. This is known as quaternary ammonium salt. This is quaternary 4 and nitrogen. So this is quaternary and this is ammonium replaced by ammonium ion. So quaternary ammonium halide, we can see it. So this is all about the classification of amines. So we can say that amines are of 4 types: primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary. Now coming to next topic, that is our structure. Now second thing important about amine is its structure. Now coming to structure of amine. This is nitrogen, this is RNH2, primary amine. Okay, so nitrogen, this is nitrogen we can say, and nitrogen have 5 electrons in its outermost orbit. So 1, this is 2, and this is 3rd orbital, and this is lone pair. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now everywhere what will happen? One alkyl group will be attached. Now here if it is one alkyl group, here it is one alkyl group, here it is one alkyl group. So this will be, the figure will be like this. This type of figure we are getting. So this figure is known as pyramidal. You can see a pyramid is formed here. So this structure is known as pyramidal. Okay, a pyramid is formed, and this is because R is having 3. Okay, so this is R3 and N. Means this is the structure of trimethylamine, or we can say it tertiary amine. So this is the structure, pyramidal structure. Okay, and here the angle between 2 alkyl groups this is less than 109 degree. That means it is 108 degree. And these are the lone pairs. So this is the structure of amine we can see here. Okay, pyramidal structure with angle between two alkyl groups is 108 degree. In ammonia we have seen this angle is 109 degree, but here because of this lone pair the angles becomes 108 degree. Now coming to next topic, that is nomenclature. Now we are coming to nomenclature. Classification we have done, structure we have done. Now we are coming to nomenclature. Now see nomenclature. For nomenclature, IUPAC name is very important. Okay, so how to give IUPAC name to amines? What we have to do? First we have to write all the prefixes. Then add alkane and parent chain. Alkane means this is parent chain. Number of carbon atoms. And from this alkane minus E, this E should be removed and then add the word amine. So in this way we can give IUPAC name to the amines. Now coming to the example, you can see here, this is one is CS3 CH Now see here, this is one compound, one amine. So how we will name it? First is parent chain. First thing that is very important, we have to select the parent chain. So parent chain is that chain which contains amino group. So amino group is attached with this chain. So we can see here, this is 1, 2 and 3 carbon atom. So number of alkane, we can say this is propane. Now prefix, we can see this benzene ring is attached with second number of carbon atom. So when benzene is attached with carbon, then it is known as, then we don't say it benzene, we say it phenyl group. So this prefix will be phenyl and the position will be 2. So at second position phenyl group is attached and number of alkanes are 3, so it is propane and plus amine we have to add. So what we have to do now, this E we have to replace. So the name will be 2-phenyl propane. Remove this E and add amine, propanamine. So this is the IUPAC name of this organic compound. Now coming to second one. Now same way, one more example. We can see here, this is benzene ring having CS2 group and this CS2 group is attached with nitrogen and this nitrogen is attached with benzene ring and here it is C2H5. Now see here, this is the compound and we have to name it. Now same way, prefix and alkene. First of all we will try to find out which is our alkane or parent chain. So parent chain, this is nitrogen and this nitrogen is attached with this benzene ring. So this is our parent chain. Okay? Because carbons are not attached directly. So we can't say that the parent chain is 2. Now parent is this one. And now coming to prefix. Now see her prefix. This CS2 group, or we can say this is known as benzyl. This prefix is known as benzyl group. Okay. When with benzene ring CS2 group is added, then this is known as benzyl. So N is attached, this benzyl is attached with nitrogen and this ethyl is also attached with nitrogen. So prefix, what we will say? First we will say N. We will use word N. with N, what is attached? Benzyl. And again with N, ethyl is added. So N-benzyl, N-ethyl. This is our prefix. Now coming to parent chain. So parent chain is our this one. Okay. Then what we will say? N-benzyl, N-ethyl, and this is our benzene. So benzene. Now remove E from the benzene and add amine. So this is the name of this compound, N-benzyl, N-ethyl, benzenamine. This is the name. One more we can take. Very easy nomenclature. Now this is benzene ring, this is N, and two methyl groups are attached with it. Okay. So same thing. Now we can see prefix. This is prefix and this is prefix, and this is parent chain. So first we will name the prefixes. So prefixes are attached with N. So we will use word N, comma N, because both methyl are attached with nitrogen. So it will be N dimethyl, because two methyl groups are attached. So it will be dimethyl, and then benzene, remove E and add amine. So this is the nomenclature of this compound, N dimethyl benzenamine. So this is all about the nomenclature. Now we are coming to preparation. How we can prepare amines? There are different methods of preparation of amines. So coming one by one. First method. Now we are coming to preparation. How we can prepare amine? Okay. Now first method. First method is reduction method. Okay. By reduction of nitro compounds. So by this method we can prepare amine in different ways. Now see here. First of all, we can take nitro compound, so it can be alkyl or it can be benzyl also. Okay, like this. Nitrobenzene or alkyl nitroalkane. Anything we can take. Okay, so first method, what we will do, we will reduce it with the help of hydrogen in the presence of nickel, palladium, or these are the catalyst, or platinum. Okay, in the presence of ethanol. So what will happen? This hydrogen will added here and this oxygen will be given out. So what we will get? We will get either RNS2 or we will get NNE. This is NNE. Okay, alkylamine and aryl amine. In the same reaction, if in place of hydrogen, now if we are taking in the same reaction, we can say now here we are taking tin and a little bit HCl. So what will happen? Same reaction will happen. Okay, and if in place of tin, now if you take iron, this is third one, iron and HCl. So again we will get same product. But remember, this reaction in place of tin, we prefer iron. Why we prefer iron now? Why this reaction is more important? Because when we are taking iron in place of tin. So what is happening? When iron is reacting with HCl, it is giving FeCl2, iron chloride. Okay, and on hydrolysis, when hydrolysis is done, then this FeCl2 is giving out HCl, and the same HCl that is needed in the reaction we are getting from FeCl2. So a very little amount of HCl is needed for the initiation of the reaction. So this is our first preparation by reduction of nitro compounds. Now coming to second preparation. This is also very important, and remember, in this reaction only primary amines are formed. Reduction of nitro compounds gives only primary amine. Now second method is ammonolysis. Now we can see ammonolysis. Okay, so ammonolysis of RX means alkyl halide. Okay, now see here, in this reaction we get a mixture of primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary amines. Okay, so this reaction is not very important, but if you take more amount of ammonia, then the major product formed is this primary amine. Okay, so see the reaction. First of all, we are taking, this is ammonia, okay, and this is alkyl halide. So this is the lone pair. So this is transferred to the alkyl group and this salt is formed, R NH3. Substituted ammonium salt is formed. Okay, this is known as substituted ammonium salt. Okay, now this substituted ammonium salt. Now if you react this salt with sodium hydroxide, NaOH, so what will happen? It will give us primary amine. This is primary amine will be given out, and this other things will be removed from here. Okay, sodium carbonate will be given out, water will be given out, HCl will be given out. If X is Cl, then this will be given out. So, and again now, again this primary amine will react with RX, alkyl halide, and now it will form secondary amine. This is R2 and one hydrogen will be removed, so this will be secondary amine. And again this secondary amine will react with alkyl halide and it will convert into tertiary amine. You can see this is tertiary amine, and again this will, tertiary amine will react with alkyl halide and we will get quaternary ammonium salt. So this, in this reaction you can see ammonolysis of RX is giving us the mixture of primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary amine. So this is not that much important, but the benefit of this ammonolysis is that during this mixture the RNH2 means primary amine we get in good yield. So what we have to do, if you want primary amine in good yield, we have to take maximum amount of ammonia. So in this way we will get maximum yield of primary amine. So this is our second method. And one more thing important, that if this RX, now the value of RX, if RX is RI, its reactivity will be more than RBr, than RCl. So X should be iodide, okay, or it can be bromide, but if you will use Cl, then the yield will be very less or the reaction can be very slow. Now we are coming to the Next preparation, third preparation. Now third preparation is reduction of, this is third method of preparation of amines. This is reduction of nitriles. By reducing nitriles. These are, and remember, what is the benefit of this reaction? This is used for the ascent of series. Ascent of series. I will show you how. First of all, we will take some nitrile. This is any nitrile. Okay? Alkyl group, and this cyanide group is attached with it in the presence of hydrogen and nickel catalyst. Now what is happening? This is sodium amalgam and this is ethanol. So what will happen? This hydrogen will be added here and see here. R, this carbon will attach with hydrogen. So we will get R CS2 NH2. So if you want ascent of series, okay, suppose if you want ethylamine, we can take here methyl. If you want propylamine, we can take one less. So the benefit of this reduction of nitrile is to ascent of series, means we can increase the number of carbon atoms. If you are taking 3 carbon atoms, we will get 4 carbon atoms amine. So this is important in this way. Now coming to fourth one. Now this is our fourth preparation, is reduction of amides. Reduction of nitrile we have done, reduction of nitro compounds we have done. Now we are doing reduction of amides. So this is amide, R alkyl group attached with CONH2 group. This is known as amide. This is amide. So by the reduction of amide, how we are getting amines? See here, in the presence of lithium aluminium hydride or in the presence of water, we are getting this RCS2 NH2. So this is very simple reaction. This is also conversion type of reaction, how to convert amide into amine. So this is amine. So this is next method of preparation of amines. Now we are coming to fifth one. Now fifth method we can see here. This is very important. Gabriel phthalimide synthesis. Very important. Name reaction also. Okay. Now see here, Gabriel phthalimide synthesis. This is very important. You can say it. Many reactions are important, but this is equally important because this is name reaction also. Okay. So first of all, here we will take phthalimide. So this is phthalimide, benzene ring. This is benzene ring, and 2 ketonic groups are attached here, and then they are attached with amine group. Okay, so this is phthalimide. Now, in the presence of KOH, ethanolic KOH. Now what is happening here? This hydrogen will be replaced by K. So the same formula will be there. Benzene ring, phthalimide, same way this is attached with 2 carbonyls and this N will be same, but here in place of hydrogen K will come and water will be given out. Again, when we react it with alkyl halide and heat it, so what will happen? This K will be replaced by this one. So this is, we have to draw the structure. This is carbon having 2 carbonyl groups, and this is nitrogen, and this potassium will be replaced by R. So here alkyl group will attach here. Okay, and this we can say this is 4-step reaction we can say. Okay, first step, then this is second, and 3-step reaction we can say it out. So this is NaOH. So what will happen now? This is benzene ring, this is carbon attached with 2 carbonyl compounds, and this is ONA, and primary amine is formed here. This is Gabriel phthalimide synthesis. Very easy reaction. Okay, phthalimide first reacted with KOH, ethanolic KOH. What happened? This hydrogen is replaced by K. Everything is same. And then again we heat it with alkyl halide. Same way, this K is replaced by R. Alkyl group is attached here. And then we react it with sodium hydroxide. This amine is given out and this byproduct is given out. So this is Gabriel phthalimide synthesis. Now one more preparation that is also important, that is this is Hoffman bromamide. Hoffman bromamide degradation reaction. This is also important because this is name reaction also. Okay. So in this reaction, as the word degradation is coming, that means here the series is descended. Okay. That means if the products are having 5 carbon atoms, if the reactants are having 5 carbon atoms, then product will have 4. Means 1 carbon will be less in the product. So see the reaction. This is, here again we will take amide. Okay, this is RCONH2. This is NaAmide. Okay, and reacted with bromine, water plus NaOH, sodium hydroxide. So what is given out? This is primary amine, and these are the sodium carbonate, 2 NaBr, and 2 molecules of water. This is given out. So in this reaction, Hoffman bromamide degradation reaction. Okay, why this is important? Because here, if you are taking, here you can see 2 carbon atoms are here, but in the product we are getting 1 carbon atom, primary amine. So this is the importance of this preparation. Now we are coming to, after preparation we are coming to physical properties. Then we will come to chemical properties, and then your chapter will be concluded. So coming to physical properties. These are physical properties. Okay. Now in physical properties, see here, mainly physical properties depends on boiling point and solubility. Okay. Few more I can tell you, that lower aliphatic amines, means having C1, C2, if carbon number of carbon is 1 or 2, then what is happening? They are known as lower aliphatic amines, having lesser number of carbon atoms. They are in the form of gases, and the odor is fishy smell. Okay, very pungent, very means not, you can't tolerate the smell. Okay, so lower aliphatic amines are found in gaseous state with very fishy smell, pungent odor we can say, and carbon having C3 to C11. These are volatile gases. Okay, if you keep them open, they can escape out. And then C12 onwards, these are in the form of solid. These are solid. Okay, so this is about aliphatic amine. Lower are gases or having fishy odor. C3 to C11 is volatile, and C12 onwards is solid. Now what about, this is aliphatic, now what about aryl amines? So we can see this is aryl amines, means like aniline having benzene rings. Okay, so they are colorless, remember. But what happens? If you keep them open or you store them, then they react with oxygen and becomes, from colorless they become colored. So aryl amines, the property of aryl amine is naturally they are colorless. But if you want to store them or you keep them open in the air, immediately they react with oxygen and get oxidized, and from colorless they become colored. So this was the first property, physical property. Now coming to second property. Second is solubility. Now see solubility. This is second property is solubility. Okay, now again lower aliphatics. Now lower aliphatics are soluble in water. These are soluble in water. Why they are soluble now? Now the question arises, why? Why lower aliphatics are soluble in water? The reason is that they can easily form hydrogen bond with water. Okay, because they can form hydrogen bond with water. You can see this is R and this is N, this is H. Okay, and this is water. Now you can see in this way. They can easily form, hydrogen bond can be formed here. So lower aliphatics are soluble in water. But as the number is increasing, means in higher aliphatics, they are not soluble in water. What's the reason? Why higher aliphatics are not soluble in water? The reason is because when the number of alkyl group is increasing, what is happening? Then we know that alkyl groups, these are hydrophobic groups. Hydrophobic group. Now if this number of alkyl group is increasing, so what will happen? They will repel this hydrogen bond. They will try to move away from the water molecule. So this hydrogen bond will not be formed, and because of this the higher aliphatics are insoluble in water. And similar cases for the aryl amines also. They are also not soluble in the water. So this is the second property, solubility. Okay, so here a few questions are coming. I want to discuss these questions because these are very important questions. So such type of question can be asked in the examination. Now what's the question? See here, these are the important questions. First is question, is, I am giving you two compounds. Okay, one is butane, 1-ol, and another is butane, 1-amine. Okay, now the question is, among these two compounds, which is more soluble in water? More soluble in water. Now you have to tell. Okay, now how the answer will come? Now this is all and this is amine. So butane all means this is R, I can write it here. Butane 1-ol, we will write it like this. Butane means it is having 4 carbon. So this is CS3, CS2, CS2, CS2 and OH. And butane 1-amine means this is CS3, CS2, CS2, CS2 and NH2. Now which is more soluble in water? Now we can see this alcohol is having OH, okay, oxygen. So the oxygen of this alcohol makes hydrogen bond with water molecules. This is water molecule, so you can see hydrogen bond can be easily formed. So, but in this case hydrogen bond forms. Here also it can form hydrogen bond. This is one H and this is another H. Here also we can see hydrogen bond is formed. But this alkyl group, being larger alkyl group, it is hydrophobic, so it is repelling and making this hydrogen bond weak. So in this case hydrogen bond is strong. So this is soluble in water and butane 1-amine is not soluble in or less soluble in water. So this is the answer. Now one more question. These are the important questions you have to keep in mind. Now coming to second question that is related to solubility. Second question is, why higher amines, all these questions have same answer. Okay, the first question, this question and one more question I am giving you, the answer will be same of all. Why higher amines are insoluble in water? And this question, see, all the questions are having aromatic amines are insoluble in water. Now we can see here same answer. Okay, higher amines are insoluble in water, you know why? Because due to larger alkyl group which is hydrophobic, and same is for aromatic amines. So this is about the physical property. Now coming to next property, that is boiling point. Another physical property is boiling point. This is boiling point. Now see boiling point. Now remember, for boiling point, primary amine have highest boiling point than secondary, than tertiary amine. Remember it. Boiling point, this is the trend. Okay. Now why it is happening? Primary amine, this is primary amine. This is alkyl group. This is one H and this is another H. Okay. And now why it have higher boiling point? And this is another, this is R N now see here what is happening. This is one molecule RNS2 and this is another molecule of RNS2. Now we can see what is happening. The nitrogen of this molecule and hydrogen of another molecule are forming hydrogen bond. This hydrogen bond is formed and we know that hydrogen bond is very strong bond. So lot of heat is needed to break this bond. So primary amines have very high boiling point. Now what is happening in secondary? So in secondary what is happening? The number of alkyl, one hydrogen is replaced by one alkyl group. Okay, here. So because of this alkyl group being hydrophobic, we know they don't want that this hydrogen bond should be made. So there is a little bit repulsion also. So because of this the boiling point decreases. Okay, because now this hydrogen bond is not that much strong as it was in primary amine. And now if it is tertiary, tertiary means one more alkyl group. Now we can see, now no hydrogen is present here. So there is no hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding is totally missing. That means no hydrogen bond. So what will happen? This will be very easy to boil. So the boiling point of tertiary alcohol, tertiary amines will be very less than primary and secondary. Now one question is coming here. See the question regarding this boiling point. This is the question. Question is, amines have lower boiling point than alcohol and carboxylic acid. Now see here, this is a question, very important question. Amines have lower boiling point, means if I write amines, this is amine, so its boiling point will be less than alcohol or carboxylic acids. So what's the reason? The reason is same. Because the hydrogen bond which is formed in amine is not that much strong. Okay, but alcohol or carboxylic acid makes strong hydrogen bond. So hydrogen bonding in alcohol and carboxylic acid is more strong than in comparison to amine. So this is the reason that amines have lower boiling point than alcohol and carboxylic acid. Now coming to chemical properties. Chemical properties or chemical reaction. Now chemical properties of amines. Now the chemical properties. Here before starting this topic, let me come to the few questions. I am asking you few questions. First question is that aliphatic amines are stronger base than ammonia. One question is this. Another question is aromatic amines. Now in place of Aliphatic, I am taking aromatic amines are weaker base than ammonia. Okay. Now, two questions are here. Aliphatic amines are stronger base than ammonia, and another is aromatic amines are weaker base than ammonia. Now, what's the reason? Aliphatic amines, now the answer of this one. Okay. Here, what is happening? Alkyl groups. Okay. Alkyl groups are showing plus I or plus inductive effect. Okay. Due to alkyl group, plus inductive effect is increasing, and because of this, what is happening? Nitrogen atom is getting high electron density. Okay, because of inductive effect, nitrogen atom, this is RNH2. This is alkyl group showing inductive effect, and this nitrogen is getting high electron density, so it is behaving as stronger base in comparison to ammonia. Now, if I am talking about aromatic amines, so what is happening in aromatic amines? In aromatic amines, we know this is aromatic amine, we can say. This is benzene, and this is, okay, here aryl group. This aryl group is electron withdrawing group. Electron withdrawing group. Okay. So, this aryl group is electron withdrawing. Okay. Here nitrogen is getting more density, and here nitrogen is getting less density, because this group is withdrawing group, is withdrawing electron from here. Okay. So, this is weak base than ammonia, and this is strong base than ammonia. Now, one more question, same related to the topic. Such type of questions are asked in the examination. Okay, so you have to concentrate on all these topics. Now, one more question is that here I have given you the order. See here, this is C2H5 whole 2 NH. This is C2H5 whole 3 N, and this is C2H5 NH2, and this is NH3. One sequence is, this is first sequence, and C second sequence. Now, this is C2H5 whole 2, that means this is secondary amine. This is 3 ethyl group, so this is tertiary amine, and this is having just one ethyl group, one alkyl group, so this is primary amine, and that is ammonia. So, if 2 ethyl groups are present, the basicity will be greater, highest. Tertiary will have less than secondary, and this is the sequence we can say. Okay, 2 degree, then 3 degree, then 1 degree, and then ammonia. Means the ammonia will have the least basic strength, then primary amine, then tertiary amine, and then secondary amine. But now, if in the same reaction, if in the same compound, in place of C2H5, if I take CS3, now I am taking CS3, see here, NH. Okay, this is secondary. So, the basic strength of secondary will remain same, But in case of tertiary, what will happen? In place of tertiary, primary will come. This is CH3NH2. This is primary amine. Okay, this is now basicity is now changed. In place of ethyl, now methyl group is there. Okay, and this is 1 degree, and then it will be tertiary. Tertiary means CH3 whole 3 N, and then it will be ammonia. So this is the sequence of basicity if we are taking ethyl substituted amine or methyl substituted amine. So this is the first basic property of the amine. Now we are coming to next property, that is carbylamine reaction. This is also very important reaction, carbylamine reaction. This is used for the identification of primary amine from secondary and tertiary amine. This is second property is carbylamine reaction. Okay, this is also known as isocyanide test. Because it gives very irritating smell. So isocyanide test is also known as carbylamine reaction, and this is to identify primary amine from secondary and tertiary amine. So what happens? Primary amine, remember, only primary amines are giving this reaction. Only primary amines give this reaction. Secondary and tertiary do not give this reaction, remember it. So we can easily identify primary amine from secondary and tertiary. Now what's the reaction? Let's see here. This is primary amine, and in carbylamine we take, this is chloroform and this is KOH. Primary amine, chloroform, and this is potassium hydroxide. Now if we are heating it, so what will happen? This is RNC is formed. Okay, this is the reason carbylamine reaction or test is also known as isocyanide test, because isocyanide is formed here. RNC is formed here, and this RNC gives foul smell, very irritating, unbearable smell. Okay, and 3 KCl and plus 3 molecules of water is given. So this is our carbylamine reaction, which is used for identification of primary amine from secondary and tertiary. Now third reaction. Okay, so we were going through chemical properties. Of amines. So 3 properties we have already discussed. Now we are coming to the next property, that is reaction with HNO2, nitrous acid. Okay, this is also very important reaction. Reaction of amine with nitrous acid. This is why it is important, because this reaction is used for the identification of primary, secondary and tertiary amines, for identification. Important to identify. Identification, or we can say this is test also for primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Okay, now what's the test? Now see here, first of all, this is primary amine. Okay, and now if primary amine is reacting with nitrous acid, HNO2, so what will happen? In the presence of sodium nitrite and HCl, it will convert into alkyl diazonium salt, and if we do hydrolysis, then it will convert into alcohol, nitrogen and HCl will be given. Now see here, in this reaction what is happening? How we can identify primary amine? This is primary amine with the help of nitrous acid. This is primary amine. Suppose in the test tube we are having primary amine. So how we will identify? We will add HNO2, sodium nitrite and HCl. So this is the intermediate product will be formed. And after this, on hydrolysis, we will get alcohol and nitrogen gas. You can see here the effervescence of nitrogen gas. The nitrogen gas that is produced will identify that the given liquid is primary amine. Now if it is secondary amine, so what will happen? This is secondary amine. Now you can say this is primary. Now if you are taking secondary amine, so this is secondary amine. Okay, and same way we will react. This is nitrous acid, and what will happen? In this case we will get one oily liquid. Now what is this oily liquid? This is R2 and plus water molecule. So this is nitrosoamine, which is oily in nature. Now you can see. If in the another test tube we are having secondary amine. So same way, if we are doing nitrous acid test, what we will get? Here we were getting nitrogen effervescence, here we will get oily liquid. So this will confirm that the given liquid is secondary amine. This is secondary amine, we can see. Now for tertiary amine, if you are taking tertiary, so this is tertiary amine means R3N. This is our, and same way this is so here we will get this is tri-alkyl ammonium okay. Now if it is tertiary amine, same way we will react with nitrous acid, we will get tri-alkyl ammonium nitrate. And what is the property of this? If the solution is cold, okay, so what will happen? This is soluble in, we can say that this is soluble in cold water. In cold water, tri-alkyl ammonium nitrate will be soluble. But if you heat it, if you are heating, so what will happen? We will get, on heating we will get oily liquid, that is nitrosoamine. So in this way we can identify primary, secondary and tertiary amine with the help of nitrous acid test. Now coming to next equation, that is chemical property, that is our reaction with aryl sulfonyl chloride. Next reaction is this is fourth reaction. Now chemical property, reaction with aryl sulfonyl chloride. Okay, this is also known, this reaction is also known as Hinsberg reagent. Hinsberg reagent. Okay. Now how can we use benzene sulfonyl, this aryl sulfonyl chloride or benzene sulfonyl chloride? See here, this reaction, Hinsberg reaction, okay, reagent, this is used for primary amine and secondary amine, okay, but tertiary amine do not give this reaction. There is no reaction at all. So this is only to identify between primary and secondary, okay, because tertiary amine is not giving this reaction. So what is happening here? You can see this is benzene, this is benzene, this is sulfonyl group attached, sulfonyl, benzene, sulfonyl chloride, and this is aniline, okay, C2H5. This is any amine. Now what is happening here? You can see this will form HCl. So HCl will be given out and this will be attached with the benzene sulfonyl group. Okay, so what will happen? Now you can see this is benzene ring, this is sulfonyl, and this will attach here. So N and C2H5 and this is diethylamine, okay. So this is benzene aryl sulfonyl chloride when reacts with diethylamine. So what is happening here? Now you can see here, this is C2H5 NH2, okay, NH. So this and this Cl is given out and this nitrogen will attach with sulfur here. So in this way plus HCl is given out. Now this, what is the name of this? You can see here with an ethyl, two ethyl groups and this group is attached here. So this is N, okay, N, then diethyl, two ethyl groups are attached, so this is diethyl. Then this is benzene and sulfonamide. And what is the property of this? This is insoluble in alkali. Insoluble in alkali. So in this way we can identify primary and secondary amine, because tertiary amine is not giving this test. So primary amine is giving this test and secondary amine is giving this test. This insoluble, this is the compound is formed and this compound is insoluble in alkali. So we can identify whether it is primary, secondary, because tertiary is not giving this reaction. So this is fourth reaction. Now we are coming to next reaction, that is electrophilic substitution reaction. Now we are coming to next type of reactions are electrophilic. Electrophilic substitution reactions. Now this is another type of reaction. Okay. Now electrophilic substitution reaction. Now what is happening in electrophilic substitution? We know that aniline is showing 5 resonance hybrids. They are showing 5 resonance hybrids. And aniline ion. Okay. So what is happening? This is aniline showing 5 resonance hybrids, and so what is happening? Because of these 5 resonance hybrids, ortho and para, maximum electron density is on ortho and para, and we can say that this aniline is ortho and para directing, because maximum density, electron density is on ortho and para position. So what is happening? Because of this, all the reactions, all the electrophilic substitution will occur on ortho and para positions. Now see, coming to different type of electrophilic substitution. First we are coming to bromination. First one is bromination. Now see here, bromination means when aniline is reacted with bromine. So what is happening here? This is aniline, we can say, this is aniline, and this is bromine with bromine water. This is bromine water. So what will happen? Because this is ortho and para directing, so what is happening in this case? You can see benzene ring, this is aniline, and Br attacks on ortho para positions. So what is formed? 2, 4, 6 tri bromo aniline is formed. Okay. Now there is one problem. Okay. So what is happening? What's the problem? Problem in ESR or electrophilic substitution reaction is that they are either ortho or para directing. So what is happening? If now we don't want ortho or para directing compounds, we want only mono substituted. We need only mono substituted. So what will happen? How we can do it? Okay. So to recover, okay, this problem, because here you can see bromination, what is happening? They are ortho and para substituted compounds we are getting, but we want mono substituted. So for that, what we will do? We can see here, this is aniline in this case. This is aniline. Okay. Here we have reacted it with bromine. We are getting ortho and para directing compound. Now here we will react it with acetic anhydride, CS3 COO, whole twice O, and pyridine. This is aniline. It is being reacted with acetic anhydride and pyridine. So you can see here what we are getting. We are getting here acid and halide. This is N is here, and this group will attach with it. So this will be CO, CS3, and one hydrogen will replace with this group. This CS3 CO group will add here. So this is known as, this is aniline, and this is acid anilide. Now if you do bromination in the presence of acetic acid, so we can get here, now see here, what we will get? This is we are getting mono substituted aniline compound we are getting here. This is the major product, and on hydrolysis this is we are getting now see here on electrophilic substitution reaction, this is bromination, okay. But what is happening when we are doing bromination, we are getting ortho and para directing substituted compound. Now if you don't want, we want only mono substituted, okay. Either it should be ortho or it should be para. So what we are doing? First, this aniline is reacted with acetic anhydride in the presence of pyridine. We are getting this intermediate product. Then on bromination in the presence of acetic acid, we are getting this, again this intermediate product which is in major amount. And then on hydrolysis, we are getting mono substituted compound. So in this way, we can get, this is para directing, mono substituted compound we can get. Now next reaction is nitration. Now first was bromination of electrophilic substitution. Now second is nitration. Now see nitration. Nitration means when we react with nitric acid. So see here, this is we react with nitric acid. This reaction is always done in the presence of sulfuric acid at 288 Kelvin temperature. So this is the reaction. Okay, aniline reacting with nitric acid, nitration going on in the presence of sulfuric acid because this is oxidizing reagent. So what happened? Here you can see this is aniline 1 nitro. This is para nitro aniline. Nitro group is at para position and we NO2 is at meta. So para nitro aniline, meta nitro aniline and ortho nitro. These are the mixture we are getting here on nitration. So this is 51% para, meta is 47% and ortho is just 2%. Okay, so this is reaction nitration. So same way here also as we did for first one. Okay, bromination. Same way, if you want only mono substituted, so same way we will do the reaction with acetic mono. This is how we will do now. If you want mono substituted, okay, because here we are getting mixture of ortho, meta and para nitro anilines. Okay, so for same way, for this is for mono substituted. Mono substituted. So what we will do here? For mono substituted, same way we will take, this is aniline. Same way we will take acetic anhydride, CS3, CO whole 2 O. This is acetic anhydride. This is this way, CS3 CO CS3 CO. This is known as acetic anhydride. Okay, in the presence of pyridine. Now we will get this intermediate compound. We will get NHCOCS3, same way as we did in bromination. Okay, and now when we react it with HNO3 and sulfuric acid at same temperature, 288 Kelvin temperature. Okay, same reaction. Before this reaction we have to treat aniline with acetic anhydride and pyridine to get mono-substituted compounds. Okay, so what will happen here? Now it will, now you can see here what we are getting. This is now you can see this is aniline, this is NHCOCS3 and nitro group will attach here. Okay, we are getting para. And again on hydrolysis we will get para nitro aniline. Okay, so for mono substituted and for multiple substituted, this is nitration, and the last is now sulfonation. Now the last property of electrophilic substitution is sulfonation. So there are three properties: bromination, nitration and sulfonation. So this is last one, sulfonation. Now see sulfonation. Sulfonation means this is aniline reacted with sulfuric acid. This is H2SO4. Sulfuric acid, intermediate product. First we are getting, this is one hydrogen is adding with this 2, so it will become NH3 and HSO4. This is HSO4. So this is positive and this is negative. This is our intermediate compound. So on heating it, this is known as anilinium. Anilinium hydrogen sulfate. This is the intermediate compound we are getting. Now this intermediate product when heated at 453 to 473 Kelvin. Now we are heating it. So what we get? We are this is sulfanilic acid. And this is this is sulfonation. So aniline reacted with sulfuric acid is giving intermediate product, and on heating this intermediate product you can see we are getting sulfanilic acid, mono substituted. Here there is no need to do as we did in bromination and nitration. Okay, and there is the equilibrium you can see here. This sulfanilic acid can convert into deuterine. What is deuterine now? Deuterine means such type of ion which is having positive and negative charges on same molecule or acidic and basic groups on the same molecule. This is known as deuteriene. So this is all about our this lesson, amines. Hope everyone is able to understand the lesson. Thank you.